All right, so a lot of people are frustrated. They say progressives aren't doing much. Progressives can't get anything done, and there's a reason for that. You know, you've got just to name a few: Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar and Alejandria Ocasio-Cortez. You know, just to name a few. You know, you got them fighting so hard against their ilk and their actual opponents. Actually, both of them their opponents. You know, the establishment Democrats, partisan Democrats, the partisan Democratic voters, the Republicans, the hardened Republicans, evangelicals, the Bible Belt. You know, they're against everything. Okay, and you know what? The fact that they're standing up on their own and whatnot is very good. Okay, I just listened to a thing on Benjamin Dixon where this woman was going through that, talking about that, and you know what? Hey, can't disagree. That's a good thing, and here's the problem, everyone. They shouldn't be having to do that in the first place. All right. If we had good politicians, if we had good-hearted people in Congress, those that are the most progressive would not have to fight those who have done their best to appear progressive but stand center right, all the while working with the right wing and their big donors. Wouldn't have to be that competition. Good people do good for the good of the people, not because they got paid enough to do something decent every once in a while. That's why we have the power of the vote. But why is it that they can't get backing from the decent-minded Republicans? Because there are Republicans out there that got a decent mind. They're just caught up in their own logic and in their own bubble and their echo chamber. It's hard to get out of an echo chamber, especially when you keep getting patriot checked and whatnot. But what's wrong? Why can't the progressives really, really do it like they should? Because progressives don't control the narrative. They don't. Progressives actually fall into the trap of the narrative created by the right wing. The right wing, in a sense, I'm not doing this some mental gymnastics. The right wing are the ones that actually dictate the progressives. How so? Because the right wing messes things up so bad, it's kind of easy to figure out how to do things, positively. It's easy. If you got a bunch of people out there with guns and a badge murdering people, it doesn't take much to say, hey, we need to make sure these people aren't out there murdering people. It's easy to say we need to get people who are not racist out there with the badges and the guns. We need to get people who are not out there trained to be afraid of their lives out there with the badge and the gun, making snap decisions when they don't know the law, when the citizens know more of the law than they do. Now it's getting to the point where your Miranda rights don't have to be read. It's just a courtesy. That's what it's gotten into. But how does the Republicans and the progressives, clash so hard in terms of what I'm talking about? How do the progressives lose the fight every time? And this is why. Because Donald Trump, the Republicans, and all of that stuff, I want you to notice this quick trend. They come up with every single pejorative out there. They came up with snowflake. They come up with, not in my backyard. They come up with all of this other stuff. But let's go recent just so you can understand what I'm getting at. Donald Trump was the one that was on stage and called Alejandro Ocasio-Cortez, Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, and anyone like that. They called these girls, I can't remember the other, I'm sorry right now, I just got back from eating and I'm not at full bore and I don't have my notes in front of me. Yeah, I usually take notes. I just don't take a lot because then I'm not going to talk about this. I'll be like, I don't wrote it. I'm done. So what it is what did he do? He called them the squad. It was a pejorative. The squad. It's them. These girls. They are the squad. You watch TYT after they did that? I did. I watched it. Watch Secular Talk after he said that? I did. Did you watch Ring of Fire after that? I did. Each one of those shows were annoyed, frustrated that he called them the squad. They knew it was a pejorative. They knew it was nothing but bad connotation with it. And they was like, they called them the squad. They was upset. They wanted to fight and counter it. What did they do now? Now they call them the squad. Now everyone that was upset with it calls them the squad. Do you know what that does? That emboldens every right-wing person out there, as in obviously Trump and the others got something, they know what they're talking about. They just call that, I mean, literally, that would be as if he called them, a racial slur, and then everyone's all up in arms about it, but then start calling them that racial slur. That's what happened. So then you legitimize the pejorative, and now you got to spend this time not only trying to own it as something positive, they're the squad now, but now you got to counter. Not only do you want to own it, but counter the nasty with it. Now you got to talk about it so good that the progressives are like, yeah, they're the squad. They're our squad. Hashtag stand with the squad and stuff. While every right-wing person out there who knows what Trump meant by it, they're like, even the progressives don't like him. Even the progressives call him the squad because they suck. So you can't get people on the right to listen to you when you're agreeing with pejoratives that come from the right. That's what the problem is. You spend your time working to own it while defending it and trying to explain it away when you should have been like, screw you, they're not the squad, they're the progressives, they're our progressives. You know, you could dub them something else to have a more positive connotation with it, but to go along with the pejorative as the narrative, you screwed up. And you do it every single time. I don't refer to them as the squad because right now, although they are basically against everything in Washington, they're against, they can't work with the establishment Democrats, they can't work with the partisan Democrats, they can't work with the Republicans, they can't work with the hardline Republicans, and they can't work with the so-called fiscally conservative Republicans because they're all pretty much in the same boat. So everyone is working against them, as well as those that are backing them. I wouldn't have called them the squad. I would have given them something else because they're on their own. And they don't have any help. And helping the others that's hating them is sure as shit not helping them. And we need to stop that crap. You know, we need to stop the true Scotsman fallacy. A real progressive does this or that. We need to stop rendering a hateful label onto those that we supposedly love and support. You know, if somebody comes into your home, calls you a racial slur, and then all your neighbors start calling you a racial slur and say, we mean it as something positive, you are not going to believe them. And soon, I'm sure AOC and the others are going to start quoting themselves as the squad, which is going to make it seem, it's going to absolutely legitimize what Trump is saying about them to everyone that Trump talks to. So who's going to listen to someone that accepts the evil from some party? You all are assholes. Hey, the assholes are now trying to fight. Now, how do you swing that? How do you swing that? This is Cedric Kennedy for Comparative Reasoning. Thank you for listening.